I feel good because everything I see with him, he looked like an NFL starting quarterback. And that's the most important thing you can say about a rookie in this league.
First of all, I'm proud of you, Mel. I'm proud. That was fairly level-headed. I thought that might be a little more dramatic from you.
No. I'm never one to. I don't do victory laps.
Okay.
I don't do victory lap for one game because I go back.
Right.
I go, hey, who had the best debut ever in the history of rookie quarterbacks?
Oh,
Will Levis did.
Oh, I think
remember
it was,
4 touchdown passes.
Wasn't it Marcus Mariota as well? Yeah.
No, again, and then you have this, things happen, organization and whatever. We don't get into that, but I never go into anything overconfident. Where it's a game, my high school Calvert Hall when we were winning championship.
ESPN's Mel Kiper didn't just warn the National Football League about Shedeur Sanders. He practically sounded an alarm that echoed through every draft room and every late-night fan debate. His voice wasn't just loud, it cut through the noise like a siren, challenging the entire scouting system with a boldness most analysts never dare to show. Shedeur Sanders wasn't the only prospect Kiper had opinions on, but this was the one where he pushed all his chips to the center of the table. Kiper, a man who shaped how fans even understand the draft, said Sanders was the best quarterback in the class. And he didn't whisper it, he declared it. He warned that any team passing on him would regret the decision in a way that would stick to their franchise like a stain they couldn't wash out. The league heard the warning, but most teams still hesitated. They second-guessed, they overthought. They trusted their models more than their instincts, and they walked right past a quarterback who checked every box they claimed to value.
I didn't go in any of those games like, oh, we're going to win this game, or I go in nervous about every game and about every player I like. I will never, Josh Allen, same way, never going to ever do, never will you ever see me do a victory lap. I always consider myself, and Green knows this, I consider myself a defense attorney for a lot of young players who are unfairly criticized. So yeah. I always tell Green out in drafting, it's like, that's what you feel like, a defense attorney, because you get all this craziness thrust upon these players, and a lot of it's just complete BS.
And now, the moment those doubts collapsed has officially arrived. Dramatic, undeniable, and impossible to ignore. Because what Shedeur Sanders did in his debut as the Cleveland Browns' starting quarterback wasn't just impressive. It was a statement loud enough to shake the league. That win didn't just snap a losing streak for Cleveland rookies. It reset the entire narrative around this franchise. Sanders walked onto that field and played like someone who had been waiting his whole life for this moment, delivering poise, precision, and smooth surgical execution. The exact traits Kiper had been preaching about for months. That performance was more than a game. It was vindication in its purest form. This is the story of a high-stakes warning dismissed by many, only to be validated in spectacular fashion. The warning wasn't whispered during draft week. It came 3 days into first-team practice, from a veteran leader who saw the truth before anyone else dared to say it out loud. And now there's no more debate, no more hesitation, no more wait and see. The prophecy didn't just come true, it exploded onto the scene. It's official. Shedeur Sanders has arrived, and every organization that failed to recognize him has now been publicly notified. To truly appreciate what this moment means, you have to rewind to the chaos that surrounded the draft buildup. Those weeks were full of noise, scattered opinions, and analysts juggling conflicting evaluations. Mel Kiper Jr., a name practically carved into the history of draft analysis, found himself increasingly alone when it came to his stance on Shedeur Sanders. While other scouts bounced between 5 or 6 quarterback names, Kiper never flinched. He had a clear answer even when the consensus was spinning in every direction. The league talked up other passers with more hype, bigger buzz, and higher projections, but none of it shook Kiper's belief. And because of that hype machine, Sanders entered his first NFL start with a spotlight brighter than most rookies could ever imagine.
Happy for him, for the Cleveland Browns, and obviously the defense. Myles Garrett's ready to set the NFL record. They couldn't block him. There's 3 things you talk about, in baseball. What did they say at Bull Durham? You remember, Craney. What do you throw the ball? Yeah, hit the ball, you catch the ball and all that. And in football, it's really very simple, right? It's BTC. Blocking, tackling, and concentration. That's what I say, blocking, tackling, and concentration. And to me, when you think about this game, they couldn't block him. You can't beat him if you can't block him. But in terms of Shedeur, the operations for a young quarterback, when you see quarterbacks running up, clapping, and then the time's ticking down, and you got to delay a game, or you got to take a timeout, or you end up the game with 1 timeout left or no timeouts left because the operations weren't good. And he looks a little confused out there. He looks like a deer in headlights. I never saw that. I didn't see it against Baltimore when he was getting hit, or the whole second half. So I think the poise, the confidence, by playing in a lot of games in college. Both at Jackson State and at Colorado has helped him. And certainly, I think when you think about the plays that he made down the field, we talk about accuracy with him. That was the thing. He's so accurate. He can be a surgeon. If you just give him a fortress in front of him, give him some time, he can be a surgeon. And some of the throws he made, and he only had the one sack where he almost got it back to the line of scrimmage. It wasn't an 8, 9, 10-yard loss. It was, 2 yards. And he almost got it back to the line of scrimmage. He got the ball out. He showed touch. When he had to let it rip, he did. He had the one bad throw when the linebacker sunk in the hook zone, and he picked it off. Okay, that happens. Baker had a bad pick against the Bills that turned that game a couple weeks ago. It all happens. They're going to learn from mistakes. In order to get better, you got to make mistakes. And you learn from those mistakes, and he'll keep making them. And he's going to have uneven performances. He'll have some good, bad, and ugly. That's just the nature of being a rookie quarterback in this league who never played with the ones, right? But I think for Shedeur,
Cleveland handed him a team stuck in a season-long struggle, dropped him in mid-year chaos, and told him to steady the wheel. That's the type of situation that crushes young quarterbacks. But Sanders looked like he'd been running the huddle for years. Kiper later broke it down in his detailed post-game report, highlighting something deeper than flashy highlights. Sanders' calm mastery of the game's most complex mechanics. That cool command, that ability to slow the moment down, hit Kiper harder than any single big throw. He argued that these experiences, pressure, adversity, expectation, gave Sanders the psychological backbone for a clean transition into the NFL's relentless pace. And accuracy, Kiper's favorite trait, was the crown jewel of the night. Sanders didn't just throw accurate passes, he carved up the field. His timing was sharp, his decisions clean, and his ball placement surgical. When the pocket held and the window opened, he attacked it with the precision of a professional who had been planning this moment since childhood. Kiper even described him as operating like a surgeon, with throws that were disciplined, calculated, and delivered with a confidence that lifted the entire offense. What made the moment even more explosive was how quickly Sanders earned the trust of his teammates. Players who had spent the season searching for stability suddenly looked energized, almost relieved, as if they finally had a quarterback who saw the field the same way they did. Every drive felt deliberate, every play had purpose, and the offense moved with a rhythm Cleveland fans hadn't witnessed in a long time. And across the league, in front offices that once dismissed him, you could practically feel the unease. Executives who ignored Kiper's warnings now watched the film with a different kind of focus, because this wasn't a rookie flashing potential. This was a quarterback demanding respect from day one. And the question, now spreading across the NFL, is simple and uncomfortable. How many teams just made a one thing you can say about a rookie in this league is this: when someone shows real control under pressure, everyone notices. Analysts pointed out a key detail in Shedeur Sanders' debut: his ability to turn a bad play into a minor setback with sheer awareness. Instead of letting a busted moment spiral, he scrambled, reset, and trimmed what could have been a huge loss down to just 2 harmless yards. That kind of instinct doesn't show up on a stat sheet, but it screams NFL-ready talent. Even the only sack he took became a talking point, not because of the play itself, but because of the drama it sparked after the game. In the middle of a locker room buzzing with excitement over a rookie quarterback leading the Browns to a massive win, a sharp frustration broke through. The head coach decided not to hand the game ball to Shedeur Sanders. Instead, the honor went to defensive superstar Myles Garrett, and suddenly the room felt split. Nobody denied Garrett's impact. He's a monster on defense and a leader every single week. But with all the context behind this win, many coaches and players felt like the moment belonged to Sanders.
The two things that really were the most important for me in the positive category for Shedeur, one was the throw that he made to Isaiah Bond, which was a 50-plus yard reception, was probably the best throw from any Cleveland Browns quarterback all season. I don't know that that's a play that Dylan Gabriel has in his bag. Eluding some pressure, driving the football down the field with accuracy. That was a great throw from Shedeur.
They saw it as a rare chance to celebrate history, and they believed the head coach dropped the ball on a moment that would have meant the world to the locker room. After all, Sanders became the first Browns quarterback to win his debut start since 1995. That's nearly 3 decades of young quarterbacks stepping into Cleveland pressure and failing, until now. The weight of that stat alone makes the achievement feel almost unreal. And when a rookie walks in and breaks a curse that heavy, teammates want to see him honored. They want that chapter bookmarked. And while the game ball decision won't break a season, it sparked conversations about leadership, recognition, and whether the coaching philosophy is fully aligned with the franchise's future. Now that Shedeur Sanders' sensational debut has wrapped, the message blasting across the league is impossible to ignore. A star didn't just arrive. He shifted the entire direction of the organization. Mel Kiper Jr.'s warning, once dismissed as overhype, has now become the truth everyone is scrambling to catch up to. Sanders is who he was advertised to be: poised, accurate, calculated, and operating like someone who's been running an NFL offense for years. And that leads to the next step. A step the Browns cannot afford to mishandle. If this team wants to turn this moment into a real era, they must commit to Sanders fully, with zero hesitation and no backtracking. No more quarterback juggling. No more indecision. No more old habits.
Second of all, Mel mentioned it already. One sack taken all day. And that was a problem against the Ravens when he played without any preparation, of course, the week prior after Dylan Gabriel got concussed. But that was a trait coming into the NFL that I wanted to see better from Shedeur Sanders. When pressure comes down on you, are you going to try to step up into the pocket and elude it? Or will you try to backpedal your way out of it, which for average athlete at best at the quarterback spot is not a recipe for success.
Sanders is the guy, and the organization has to act like it. But commitment alone isn't enough. They must build around him with intention and urgency. That means giving him wide receivers who can unlock every layer of his surgical throwing ability. It means stacking the offensive line with investments that protect him like a fortress, the kind Kiper said he would eventually need. If Cleveland wants their rookie star to flourish, they must treat him like the centerpiece of a long-term plan, not just a temporary spark. And maybe the most pressing issue of all, the philosophical disconnect inside the coaching staff must be fixed immediately. Sanders deserves a head coach and an offensive coordinator who are fully aligned behind him, not half measures, not mixed messages, and not questionable decisions in defining moments. He needs a system tailored to his strengths, built to enhance his rhythm, mobility, timing, and decision-making. Only then can the Browns chase genuine championship ambitions with confidence instead of confusion. If the franchise wants to stop living in the shadow of its past and finally rise into something real, it starts with clearing the path for Sanders to lead without resistance. Players already believe in him. Fans already see the shift, and analysts have changed their tone overnight. Now the coaching staff must match that urgency before hesitation turns into regret. Because if this front office takes too long to align around Sanders, another team will take the blueprint Cleveland is sitting on and turn it into their advantage. This league moves fast, and windows close without warning. The Browns finally have a quarterback who can open one wide, and the organization's next moves will decide whether this becomes a new era or another what could have been story. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you like that video, make sure you hit all those buttons and stay locked in.